Hall of Famer Tito Santana, hoping to give.
Hello, hey guys, just 10 here with the old 5 wrestling. What's your opinion?
And something like that than I have ever felt.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the Notorious ATB with Just 10 Incredible, Just 10 Mediocre, more like it.
That's funny, Chipmunk.
Welcome to the next episode of Till 5 Wrestling. At least I don't wear sunglasses in the studio.
Well, at least I don't have to pull stones out of my jaw. So let's get into
No,
the
you have to
first
pull them out
episode.
of your penis. So let's talk about Shane Mercer, the Iron Demon, a man who is quite possibly killing it on the indies.
Shane Mercer killing it on the indies. Cue the graphic. Put the fries
He's
in the
on.
bag, Dave, for God's sakes.
Good Lord.
This is That's a good start.
Yes.
I forgot I paused it, man.
All right.
Just hit the intro and we'll record.
Hall of Famer Tito Santana, hoping to give.
Hello, hey guys, just 10 here with the old 5 wrestling. What's your opinion? And
Something like that than I have ever felt.
no, it's fine. It's fine. I'll
Good
ring the bell.
grief.
I'll ring the
Diva's
bell.
over here. Welcome
ring
to
the
Till
bell.
5 Wrestling, baby! Episode 3. You're here for the third time this season, folks. It's the Notorious ATB.
It's just that incredible for now. Sure, maybe.
He's excited to be here.
Yep, always.
All right, folks. You should be excited because you're the one that got the first segment pick.
That's right, guys. We're gonna go straight into killing the indies.
With Shane Mercer,
The
Hey.
Iron Demon.
a Kentucky native, actually a couple of years younger than me. So he's only 36 years old. Let's get this man in a mainstream promotion.
Yeah, let's do that. He's very talented. He's a powerhouse, but he's also extremely agile and can do stuff off the top rope that most people can't.
As the name says, he has been killing it in the indies.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, for a long time.
Forever.
Since at least 2014.
Yep.
The man has just gotten better. I love that occasionally he'll pop up trending thanks to him lifting
Yeah.
some gigantic thing and spinning it around on his
Yeah,
head
he's
like
a specimen, man. He's a freak athlete.
a whole set of bleachers that's probably 600
Yep,
pounds.
or doing some crazy spot at GCW.
Yeah, grabbing somebody and doing a backflip off of a ladder.
Yeah, he's too damn good to be on the indies forever.
Yeah, he
Somebody's
is.
got to make a play to Shane Mercer.
If somebody doesn't, then GCW needs to slap
Exactly.
that world title on him.
Yep, roll with it.
Let him have a match against Effie and sling him around and destroy Effie and take that belt and just be like the Iron Demon's house is GCW now.
That'd be amazing.
That would be a lot of fun because most of his best matches have came from GCW.
That's true. Like the one that I love the most from 2023, Speedball versus Shane Mercer. Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah, that was a fun match. I'm not as big on Mike Bailey as
I'm
you
a big
are.
Mike Bailey guy.
I like him, but the whole
I wish
bear,
he'd wear shoes.
the bare feet
Yeah,
thing
I
kind of
wish he would
kills
wear
me.
shoes,
I
but
know
I'm a
you're
big fan.
more accepting of feet than I
That's
am.
not true at all.
For me, I really liked his April 2023 match
Mhm.
against Calvin Tankman in GCW.
Yeah, Calvin Tankman, another guy that's killing it on the indies, is an absolute freak.
Yeah, and those two guys were
Yeah.
just absolutely destroying each other.
Two big sweaty men slapping meat.
Yeah, and you can't not acknowledge Shane Mercer's ladder matches.
Yeah.
He had a really good one in 2021, actually, a couple of years older than his 2023 stuff,
Yeah.
September. He took on Jake Lander, Jordan Oliver, Nick Wayne, Ninja Mac. We're both big fans of Ninja Mac and Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne more than Ninja
Jordan
Mac.
Oliver, I'm also a big fan. Jordan Oliver's very, very good.
I've not paid enough attention. to
He's
Jordan
very. I
Oliver.
watched him a lot in MLW. He's very, very good.
Okay. And Dante Leon was in there.
Yeah,
And
Dante's pretty good.
I don't know who Yo-Ya is,
I'm not sure.
but he was there.
I've not seen that match. We were talking before the show, and I told you I was going to have to check that one out.
The most fun thing about that is that you get to see Shane Mercer utilizing a ladder with his muscles.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah,
It's an awesome.
that's always a good time.
Yeah.
And that's one, folks.
And guys, we go into that, book Shane Mercer. Somebody sign this guy. He's amazing.
At the very least, we need to get him some bookings in Tennessee.
And that's one.
That's one. Now, if you like ladders and you need some ladders,
Yeah.
maybe you need to go see our good friends at Stover's Liquidation, where they have liquidation and wholesale home improvement items. They're open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're closed on Sundays. They're open 24 hours online. You can find their online stock at www.stoversliquidation.com.
At www.stoverliquidation.com.
That sounds vaguely familiar. You could call the Oak Ridge office at 865-523-4449. They are located at 481 Tulsa Road in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. You can call the Cookville location at 931-526-2591. They are located at 452 West Broad Street in Cookville, Tennessee. Go see the nice folks at Stover's. They'll help you find all of the home remodeling stuff that you could possibly need.
Good people.
Good, solid American people.
Salt
folks.
of the earth.
Just like people from Indiana are the salt of the earth. One of our loyal viewers, Bob Smith, is actually located in Indiana. And since Bob likes to talk about our show and he's such a fan of Till 5 that he messages me about it,
Wow.
I thought maybe we would do a top 5 faces of Indiana.
This one's for you, Bob.
Or not top 5, but just 5 faces of Indiana.
5 faces.
All right. First off, folks, you have to give it to Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah.
He
No question.
is the managing goat.
He is the poster boy of chicken shit heel.
Bobby Heenan walked so Paul Heyman could run.
Yep.
So we could podcast.
100%. Yeah.
Bobby was the smart mouth, always telling people to watch out for Hulk Hogan when he was trying to kill Hulk Hogan until Bobby was actually right in 96.
Well, so the second slot.
But now hold on.
Well, you can keep talking about Bobby all you want.
I love Bobby. We got to give
Yeah.
Bobby the Weasel his credit.
Give the weasel his
Bobby
due.
started out as an actual wrestler, and then he
Yeah.
had a neck injury that forced him to step out. Actually caused him to want to go at it with Brian Pillman.
Mhm.
when
Yeah,
he was
I
trying to
remember
sell
that.
his
Yeah.
Bruce Cannon
Yep.
character. But Bobby, in his later years, he was not in good health. He had some cancer issues several times, and that's what took Bobby entirely too early from us.
Mhm.
He did get to go into the Hall of Fame
Yep.
that he deserved,
Absolutely.
and Bobby actually got to see the flowers for once. And thankfully, that's something that our number 2 guy also got to see, even though Juicebox.
Kim and Bear and Danny, and they all completely disagree with this, but Terry Funk.
Yeah, Terry was born in Indiana,
Mhm.
and
Dory was not.
Dory was.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Dory Funk was also born
Look it up, folks. Let us know in the comments.
All right. So, Dave is on the hunt now.
Dory Funk Jr.
Dory Funk and Dory Funk Jr.
Hammond, Indiana.
Well, son of a bitch.
Whoa! Look
Well,
at that.
son
The
of a
notorious
bitch.
ATB's right. That's because he's the kid and he doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right,
Wait a
Chipmunk.
second. No, I'm just kidding.
Ah! Maybe next time.
Yeah. And the next face that we're going to talk about is the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, not a good guy. Not a good personal guy. We all know this,
Yeah.
okay? Seemed to sort of maybe redeem himself a little bit towards the end, but we really don't know.
No.
You know, he died abruptly in a very almost
Fitting way,
poetic
really.
way.
Yeah. Like, it was
after the promo that it totally made sense. But anyway,
the man who legally named himself Warrior went out there, cut an
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior promo,
And
and
then
then had a
died.
heart attack.
well, we can say what we want to personally about the Warrior, but the fact is he's an iconic wrestling face, iconic wrestling character.
Yeah, and then number 4, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to say Ruby Soho deserves. a
Yeah,
spot
man.
here.
Ruby Soho's proven herself all over the world.
Yeah, she's a recent mother.
Yep. Congratulations.
Big Daddy Ange made his return at Collision last
That's right.
week. Yeah. So what about number 5?
Well, I guess Dory Funk Jr.
Well, what about Mickey Knuckles? She's on the flyer. She's on the graphic.
Yeah, Mickey
Look
Knuckles
at all the
sucks,
accomplishments.
man.
Look, Mickey
Come
Knuckles has a
on.
lot of accomplishments. In
But they don't
professional
amount to
wrestling.
anything, though.
She has dominated in deathmatch wrestling in 2024. She won the deathmatch tournament. She won the Cage of Death.
I went to work today, and I made more money than Mickey Knuckles wrestling a match for CZW.
So is this where you're going to be like creative control, Dory Funk, not Mickey Knuckles?
You know what? Dory Funk is the other face. Dory Funk and Dory Funk Jr. Pick a face. It's not Mickey Knuckles. If you want to see a bunch of dog shit, then you could be watching other podcasts right now, but you're not. So you're watching our show. So we're going to tell you about real people that matter.
All right, the Tan Man cometh. I guess that's 2, folks.
Ring the bell.
And now it's the Iceman cometh for the featured faction.
That's right.
Horsemen. What?
What?
This is number 3.
I'm doing the 4 horsemen.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying number 4.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you said
no,
4
why
horsemen,
are you
though.
acting like I'm crazy? Anyways, the Iceman cometh.
This guy's got
Dean
dementia.
Malenko. He's our featured faction member for the 4 Horsemen. And we actually debated on using him for TL 225, but decided to.
I didn't want him TL 225 is going to have so many people that we're going to discuss, and the Horseman feels more personal. Without getting a full retrospective, I felt that it would be better to give Dean his flowers this way.
Yeah, and Dean is like that was the peak of his career.
Right.
Was his Horseman run.
Agreed.
So he started out really catching traction in WCW or in ECW.
Yep, where he was a 2-time ECW TV champ and World Tag Team champs with Benoit.
Yeah, and then they both got signed with Eddie and Ray
Because they're all so good.
to WCW.
Yeah. That's a great group of wrestlers coming out around the same time.
Oh yeah,
It's amazing.
and that's why it was so great when they all jumped over.
WCW made a lot of mistakes, as we all know. But when they got all those guys at the same time, they literally hit the lottery.
Yeah, that was money in the bank, so to speak.
They hit the lottery. Hoovy and Psychosis, they all come in around the same time.
Now, he was one of the first 10 WCW Cruiserweight champions.
Yep.
And then he was a 4-time WCW Cruiserweight champion all in all.
1-time US and 1-time tag champ with Benoit there also.
Yeah, just like they were in ECW together. Like we said, he was part of the Radicals that jumped.
Yeah.
He didn't do a lot in the WWF.
He was a 2-time light heavyweight champion in the WWF. He actually was only there for like a year and a half before he transitioned into a producer role.
Well, and that's Dean has some health issues that made that necessary.
I think that it could have gone better for him had the health not started depleting at that point. But if you watch a Dean Malenko match, you'll know what I mean when I say this. He works a rough style. That technical style that Malenko works on top of the cruiserweight stuff, working with the cruiserweight guys is hard on the body.
I feel like Dean Malenko is a shorter William Regal.
Yeah, very hard on the neck.
Yeah.
Took a lot of suplexes and such. So, yeah.
But Dean is a backstage producer nowadays.
Very important figure.
Yeah, he's helped.
At one time in WWE and now in AEW.
Yes. He's helped get a lot of psychology over to the younger wrestlers, and that's always great to see. So we're thankful for Dean Malenko.
Yeah, we love you, Dean.
What I particularly love about Dean is that his last match in WCW, he lost by rolling out of the ring in a match with no ropes to Billy Kidman. Yep. And that's 3, folks.
That's right.
So now it's time for number 4. Our Till 225 member this week, Billy Kidman. So Kidman, he was a face of the cruiserweights in WCW. I always enjoyed him, even when he was wearing the goofy stars and red, white, and blue stuff on Saturday night.
We're still sitting here around everybody, all wrestling fans, talking about Mysterio. We're still talking about Eddie. Billy is the unsung hero of the WCW cruiserweight, and he just doesn't get enough credit.
Absolutely.
He's so guys, if you want to see, everyone knows the shooting star press. If you want to see a shooting star press like you've never seen one before, watch Billy Kidman do it.
Yeah, him and Paul London.
Which also
that's why they were a tag team.
Right.
The SmackDown tag team champions with the best shooting star presses in the world. And that was literally the only thing they had in common.
They hated each other outside of that, but that's fine.
But he was a WCW Cruiserweight champion. 3 times. He was a
Yep.
WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion. He was a WCW World Tag Team Champion twice.
With Mysterio and
All 3.
Conan.
Yeah. 2 times he was a Tag Team Champion with Ray, Cruiserweight and World, and once with Conan for the World Tag Team titles.
Filthy Animals Day.
Then he wins the WWE Cruiserweight, Light Heavyweight, whatever weight title belt they want to call it.
Was the 4-time. He's a 4-time WWE Cruiserweight
Yeah.
champion. Yeah.
So the man has plenty of accomplishments in this division, but I feel like he gets lost in that shuffle because there were so many good lightweight guys back then.
Billy was different, man. So we know how great Billy is, and a great example of that is a triple threat that he had. I'm high on a 3-way.
Not a
against
4-way this
Rey
time.
Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero at Starrcade '98.
Also from 88, a month earlier, he had a really good banger with Juventud Guerrero.
Yeah, he did at World War III, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. And one that I know that we usually try to just stick with the WCW Cruiserweight stuff on this one as far as accomplishments go. But I do feel that a match that needs to be mentioned is Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio versus the world's greatest tag team at Vengeance 03.
Yeah, that's fair. That was a solid pay-per-view.
It was an
all in all.
amazing pay-per-view, an
Yeah,
amazing
go
match.
back and watch that whole
Yeah.
pay-per-view on
Maybe we
Peacock.
will for the show.
Maybe we should. Maybe they should let us know in the comments.
That's right.
There we go.
Let us know.
Now, also, I want to point out that I think if WCW had won the Monday Night Wars,
Yeah.
Billy Kidman would have been a bigger star.
There's a fair shot that Billy Kidman could have been a world champion in the WCW system in the mid-2000s.
Well, let's look at it this way. 6 months before WCW closed,
Mm.
Billy Kidman beat Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think we were definitely heading that
we were
direction.
on that path to
I
making
think
him
Billy
a star.
Billy Styles. I think Billy Kidman could have been what AJ Styles was to TNA to WCW.
Yeah, he
at
really
that era.
could have. Yeah. If he had a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Or they had won the Monday Night Wars. But they didn't. And sometimes you don't get the opportunity to rebuild the way you like. And that's 4, folks.
That's right.
But if you want to rebuild things the way you like, perhaps you should head to see our sponsors at Stover's Liquidation. You can go to their Oak Ridge location at 481 Tulsa Road in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. You can call them at 865-523-4449. Or you can go to the Cookville location at 452 West Broad Street in Cookville, Tennessee. You can contact them at 931-526-2591. Or you can go to their website at www.stoversliquidation.com and get an idea of the stuff that they'll have in stores.
Yep.
They're open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. They're closed on Sundays. Go to Stover's, get you some good home improvement quality products and flooring, tiles. God, they get so many new tiles in all
Yeah.
the time. But
good looking stuff.
yeah, it is.
I've checked them out online. They've got some good stuff. I know for sure if I ever need any home improvement done, I'm going down to Stover's Liquidation
That's right. Oak Ridge location. Of
in the
course.
Oak Ridge location.
That's right, because the Oak Ridge location is the best location for me and you. It's closest. But if you're not near East Tennessee, go see the good folks in Cookville.
That's right.
But our final segment tonight, folks, the Beast from the East, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Welcome to a Till 5 flashback. Once again, presented by Stover's Liquidation, our good friends.
Our Google friends.
Our good friends.
That's right. Now, Bam Bam, he actually decided to go into wrestling when he got out of prison.
Yeah. He's a scary looking dude.
He was. He didn't really have the skill set to go into anything else, really. So he decided to go into wrestling. And then when he debuted in the WWF,
Mhm.
they had this whole like all these managers were trying to get him and they acted like he was going to be a bad guy. And then they revealed that his manager was Sir Oliver Humperdinck. And that made him a face immediately.
Yep.
His paper debut was at Survivor Series on a team with Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Oddly enough, now they lost to Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, the Natural Butch Reed, One Man Gang, and Rick Rude. Bigelow would fight One Man Gang all the time, so much so that I purposely skipped everything
Yep.
when I saw One Man Gang. Then he was the last man eliminated from his team, so they were really pushing hard for this new kid that looked like a monster
Yeah.
to get a good push.
Like I said, he's a scary looking dude.
Yeah. 1987, he wins Best Head
Yeah.
at the Slammy Awards. And then he would go on and perform If You Only Knew with Hulk Hogan and other parts of the roster. He would team with Hogan against Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant on house shows and such for a little bit. And then in June of 1998, Bigelow wrestled Andre, and Andre went a little stiff on him.
Yep.
And Bigelow left, packed up his bags, and that was the last time he was in the WWF for a while.
Yep.
Because
good long while.
yeah, they had that old school mentality, and they beat the new kid up for no reason.
He didn't like it.
No, so he packed up and
Well, funny enough, he went to Japan,
basically became a star in New Japan.
where they beat his ass even harder.
But it worked.
yeah, it did.
It really like
Bam Bam had such a unique look, especially at the time. The Gaijins coming in did not look like that.
no.
They didn't look like that.
And you know, Bam Bam and Vader getting to,
Vader.
getting to be a tag team.
Very cool.
That was a
stuff.
lot of fun.
Very cool.
Vader would go on and eventually come back to the WWF. Main event WrestleMania against Lawrence Taylor
Yeah.
at
Bam Bam,
WrestleMania
you
11.
mean.
Huh?
Bam Bam, you mean. You said Vader.
Oh, my bad.
It's all right. We'll do that at some point.
We did Vader.
Did we?
Yeah, pretty sure did.
Tell us in the comments. Did we do Vader?
He's,
I don't know.
He's high on a three-way still.
Whatever.
So, so Bam Bam would come back to the WWF and main event WrestleMania 11. A WrestleMania main evented without a title match at the time was kind of
yeah.
unheard of. He took on Lawrence Taylor. It was a big publicity stunt,
Yep.
and it really like that proved that Bigelow was a star at the time.
Yep.
So he would go on and work with the $1 Million Man throughout
Yep,
the
he was
rest of
in
that.
the
run.
$1 Million Corporation for a little while, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was $1 Million Corporation.
Was it not the?
I wanna say
was
was
it-
Money Inc.
Was it still Money Inc?
I want to say.
Okay. Well, you know what I mean. Basically, same
Yeah.
difference.
So then he would go to your favorite era.
Yeah. So from there, Bam Bam in '96 debuts in ECW in February '96, confronting Taz. Okay. A couple weeks later, he shows up again and he has an impromptu match against Cactus Jack, his in-ring debut. Okay. And from there, they bill Bam Bam Bigelow versus Bam Bam Terry Gordy in the Battle of the Bams. All right. Excellent match if you haven't checked it out. While he's doing that, he's working in Japan a little bit on the side still, and he is working the indies. So then he started showing up regularly by May 97 in ECW, which is how, or not how, but when the Triple Threat was formed with Chris Candido and Shane Douglas. Great stuff. Would go on to feud with Shane and Candido, would go on to become a ECW World Champion in his time there, and unfortunately his only.
Yeah, that was
his only
very
world title.
strange.
At least ECW gave him the nod. Bam Bam was in his prime of wrestling ability while he was in ECW.
Look, Bam Bam was pretty much in his prime throughout the 90s.
He was very good.
Yeah, Bam Bam was
Very,
always
very
great.
good.
to
His
watch.
ECW work, man. You know, of course, the spot him and Taz going through the ring, him and Taz going through the stage, just great stuff.
Yeah. And then when he left ECW,
Yep.
he came over to WCW, where at first I thought they were going to treat him really well.
Mhm.
I was excited for Bam Bam against Goldberg. I thought that was going to be a blast. And then they just really dropped the ball. And Bam Bam kind of
His
became,
hardcore title, Bam Bam.
like everybody from ECW. They got tossed into the hardcore
It's
division.
kind of a shame that he got lumped in. Bam Bam, because he won the ECW championship, I do consider an ECW guy. I know we've had this discussion before, and he was there for a good while.
Yeah, I will always think of Bam Bam as a WWF guy.
Well, he's an ECW guy to me. But anywho, they did that with all the ECW guys, and I really felt like that was unfair to Bam Bam to be lumped into the hardcore scene, because that's really not what he was.
No.
Even when he was in ECW, he wasn't really wrestling hardcore matches much.
Well, they kind of they did kind of give him that Jersey Triad run with Canyon and
Canyon
DDP.
and DDP, his good friend, longtime friend DDP,
Yeah,
and Chris Canyon.
and that was a decent storyline for him to run around with those guys again, or those guys for the first time. Kind of a triad thing for him in WCW or Triple Threat.
Of sorts.
Yeah. And you know, he worked a little bit with WCW there at the end of his career, and he ended up going back to the Indies when WCW closed, essentially.
So actually, I did not know this until I was doing some research for the show today. But when TNA in 02 was being kicked around, the idea to open TNA and start a new company, Bam Bam was one of the first names on the Jarrett's list that they wanted. But because of his Warner Media contract, they couldn't afford the buyout.
Well, I mean,
And Bam Bam ended up never working there.
that was one of the big things back then.
Yep.
You know, would you really ditch a high six-figure contract to go work for less money?
Well, it's a guarantee that I can sit on my ass for 4 years and do nothing,
Yeah.
or I can go work for TNA and make a lot less
Yeah,
at the time.
and possibly get hurt.
Right.
Yeah, it was a stupid decision.
Yeah. So I would have done the same thing. I would have sat, but eventually it does run out, and he goes back to the Indies.
Yeah. He goes back to the Indies. He wrestles in Germany a lot,
Yep.
and finally they start realizing that he's got some concussion and head issues, and he doesn't want to take chair shots or bumps anymore. And he wrestles his last match in November of 2006, and 10 weeks later we would actually lose Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yep. Accidental overdose, folks.
Yeah, well, that was kind of a lot of those ECW guys. I
Yeah,
wonder why.
unfortunately.
But now, my personal pick for matches that you need to go back and see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say the May 31st, 1999 episode of Monday Night Nitro, Bam Bam Bigelow and Diamond Dallas Page against Perry Saturn and Raven.
That's good stuff.
That was the birth of the Triad.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. And then I also want to give some love to that final match he had in ECW with RVD.
Absolutely.
What was that? April of 98?
I believe it was April of 98. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he lost the TV title to RVD. That
dropped
was
it to RVD.
a fun exit. And Bam Bam was always good to put people over on his way out.
Bam Bam, a lot of the guys that you hear talking about it on podcasts and stuff, Bam Bam seemed like a really genuine good person. Like
Yeah.
he wanted to help everybody out.
Yeah.
He didn't want to look good if everybody else didn't look good.
And that was Bam Bam understood the business better than most.
I believe he did. Yeah.
And that's the thing about Till 5. We understand that it's pretty much all business.
That's it.
So we get it. Everybody needs to be elevated. And that is why we're here to give you all some quality entertainment, hopefully elevate your lunch break or your ride home, and
Or elevate while you're gardening.
elevate
Yeah.
while you're gardening. I guess is that 5, folks?
Well, I guess that's 5.
We'll see you next week.